Yeah, yeah. This is Ron. Oh, yeah. So it's nice to be able to sleep, to be able to wake up to a new world. Yeah, a new day. I don't like what happened yesterday. It wasn't how it was supposed to be. I should have presented my facts, and she should have listened and then taken a stance in favor of, in order to not only appreciate the patient for their endearing nature to protect themselves, and but to help. So energies find their way to express themselves around us in all ways. So this morning I wake up and my normal routine, I go to the bathroom, brush my teeth, wash my face, do all the things that I do, and then get right to feeding the cat a little food so that he can calm down. And at the same time, I take half of a can and put it on a plate, and I take it out to the back door. And Maxwell, the black and white cat, who I set it up so that he can live either in the garage or in the office room in the garage, or in my what do you call that cold frame, the cold frame box here. I slit the side and he can walk through. And inside there's a heating element, and towels and an old T-shirt, things that of mine in there. Make him comfortable with some plants. There's some plants in there too. So he's been using it, keep warm at night. He gets fed every morning. So this morning I put the food out for him, and he comes up to me and he looks strange in the dark. So I reached down to touch him, and he's soaked to the bone. Soaked. How on earth? Did you fall in someone's pool? Is there a pool of water somewhere? And we haven't seen rain for a while. And everything's dried up, and there's no pools of water, and there's no one that I know of that has a pool. And I keep water, like in the bird bath, and there's a water in a tub over here, and I looked, and there's no splashing anywhere. There's no water. How is he soaked to the bone with water? Well, I think he was swooning my neighbor's cat, the older lady who I was trying to be friends with, and now I'm completely cut off as a pariah. But this cat got her pet pregnant, and I was going to take one of the kittens, but her son wanted to charge $1,000 for the kitten because it was a rare kitten. Well, now she's leaving her cat out again, and it's that time again, and well, he's swooning all over, and I think she's the one that's been hurting him because he came limping with his back leg all limped up. So I think that he probably engaged her cat, and someone kicked him off, hurting him. And so yesterday I noticed he was limping again because he's healed from that. And I told him, just stay in the yard. So he does. He wanders around my house and he howls, wow, 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 because he's trying to call her over. And she was just here the other day, if not yesterday, day before yesterday. She was just here, so I even talked to her. She's got a collar on, tortoise shell, not the one we saw in the video. That's a different one. This one's more tortoise. So I think that they got engaged again, and the lady next door, Petra-Grace, that's her name, one of either her or her family members had dumped water on him to make him go away. Stop making babies. Well, why don't you get your girlfriend, your girl cat spayed? It's not that Maxwell's our cat. He just showed up. And he's got his testimacles. He can make 'ems. So anyways, I felt bad. I couldn't bring him in the house. So he's not soaked to the bone. He's just surface wet. It's kind of chilly, and he seems okay, and he's calling the girl, and he had his breakfast, and I just saw him again, and the sun is coming up, see, so he's going to soak in the sun, and his hair's going to get all matted because of the wet. figure out how to brush him. Poor thing. Well, that's just pure witchcraft, man. That is, to happen in such a fashion. So, anyways, like I said, I don't like yesterday. I don't like having to yell and literally scream. I wasn't threatening anybody, but I could not stop continually putting forward to her the truth because she wouldn't listen. And she knows she had no alternative. And she could have just walked out. What am I going to do? Chase her down the hallway? No. People think that violence comes from, I don't know. Violence comes from the mixed seed. The mixed seed, that's when you mix the seed causing the sins of many fathers to come forward. That's the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. Yeah. So, if anything, being white, as they say, so-called white, then it would be to conquer and nothing more. And it's but a bow and not an arrow, given such a crown. Well, within my inheritance to demand and stand up and take power of my own control, of my own domain, to dictate upon my own measurement, within reason, within acceptable limits, based on 3 testimonies, which is the 3 indicators, 3 indicators that would reveal such a diagnosis that cannot be revealed without a biopsy. No amount of poking and no amount of imaging is going to reveal or give unto you or anyone a diagnosis except for a biopsy. It's the only way. And to avoid that process, that point, is to deny the possibility. Yeah, so you're taking me down another road because you want to deny the possibility of this particular problem that is presenting in such a fashion across the board. So I'm trying to justify my anger. I'm not a hypocrite. No, so it's not hatred. No, when I start screaming and yelling, and even if I use cuss words, because I did, I cussed. I let it out. When I speak about it, I'm very calm. I have control. But when I'm acting in the capacity of such an anger, it's righteous anger. It's like a fire. And it harms me. I mean, it must. I mean, I have to admit that after having such a expression, even though Jeff's trying to calm me down because I'm trying to let it out to tell him what happened, but just trying to tell him what happened, he's telling me, shut it down, shut it down, shut it down. Look what you're doing to yourself. I'm not doing anything but letting it out, honey. And you're taking it in such a fashion that it's affecting you. I'm just telling you, I need to let it out. Someone needs to know what happened, and I need to express it so I remember it as it happened. Shutting it down is not how a Scorpio plays, but corporate Capricorns do that. Shut it down, shut it down. Kitty cat. The kitty cat. Anyways, that was my expression. I don't like that either. I'll never like that part of our relationship as far as me and Jeff. I want to express and get it out of my body, and he wants me to shut it down, put it in, pull it in, honey, pull it in. The minute I was at my mother's house and I was being accused of having put her into fear of her life, causing her early death or whatever, they were literally accusing me of killing my mother. Jeff immediately grabbed me around the arms from behind, like bear hugged me, while my sister's cussing at me and accusing me with this rancid ugly face, same face I have. And I had to break free from him and say, "What the fuck are you doing? Get off of me." And he's behind me, and he's bear hugging me, as if I was going to punch my sister. Are you trying to protect me from hitting someone? Or are you trying to hold me so that I get hit? So I was pissed, and I even turned and said, "Don't touch, let go of me," which made it seem like I'm violent. Try to hold down the person that's expressing themselves or being accused or standing their defense. You don't do that. Shut it down, bring it in, pull it in, draw it in. Fuck you. Let it out. If it's in you, let it out. Now fortify the vessel so that 7 more don't come in, because you'll get more angry. That's what you do. You let it out, name the demons, express yourself. I'm sure she's still a nice lady, but she's programmed, and she's running a business with a format that you follow these key steps and always stick with it, and you'll never go wrong. Well, obviously something's always going to go wrong because it's the human element. That's what makes you a healer, a doctor, a physician. Heal thine own self before you heal someone else. We should wonder who has psychological problems. Yeah, those in authority who make stupid decisions. She saw me 2 weeks ago and gave me meds that have no help. I see her again and tell her they help me with nothing, and I present the neck, I present all these things, and she says, "We'll find out with blood work." And then I don't get for 8 more days the results of the blood work. And so then I'm just freaking out. I mean, come on. Oh, well, the blood work was from the 1st and then the 8th, and it carried over to the 2nd week. But I just got the blood work. I had to go in. I had to find out it was there. In the distress that my body's in. Only to hear that, oh, it's not. It's not. It would have shown. But that's a lie. And I told her, I said, so that's a lie. That's an untruth. She said, but then we would have seen a lump in the CAT scan. So then we would have looked at it. No, you would have then done the endoscopy. That's what you said. So then that would be another appointment for someone else to look down there, see why I can't swallow. I mean, obviously I can swallow, but it's difficult right there. And the glands are they're huge. It's amazing. And to have her touch them last night, her eyes probably just went ding. I got caught in a lie. Oops, I don't really know how to treat anybody. I hope she's calling her girlfriend or telling her husband. You know, everybody makes mistakes. It's no big deal. But don't keep standing your ground knowing you're caught in it. Just say, oh, okay. But giving me the referral and then pushing me away like that, walking out the door, saying there's the exit, and leaving, even though I'm so agitated, my heart's beating a mile a minute, you're going to cause a heart attack, girl. You're lucky I didn't fall on the floor and die right there in your office. Well, I have a strong heart. Every time they put me on EKG, I have a strong heart. And yet I'm experiencing severe chest pain. And it is not acid reflux. No. It's a buildup of fluid around my heart. I can feel it. And it shoots straight through my body in different points in pain, through my lymphatic system. And why isn't that enough? To do what we said. Let's go for the biopsy, but yeah, okay, we need the imaging. But we really want to focus on the biopsy because that's the only measurement It's the only tool that you have available for this circumstance under this myriad of array of connected symptoms. I'm serious. How many patients is she harming with her inability to see beyond the federal measurement of COVID nightmarish bullshit that they all accepted when they know it was fascist? It was control. And it destroyed lives, livelihoods. And it destroyed your children in ways you cannot know of yet because of their education being interrupted. It's sad. So we're in the measurement of the four horsemen of the apocalypse. And we see it within everybody. So the anger that comes out is only to conquer. Carrying a bow, I'm not going to carry a knife. I'm not going to carry a gun. I'm not of the red horseman. I might have the littlest amount of redman in me. Yeah, from being native. But I didn't inherit that. No. Unless it's for the kitchen. Unless it's for feeding the family. Then yeah, I can strip the meat off the bones faster than you'll know. But that's part of it. The black horseman carries the weight of goods and services, and they're told not to harm the oil or the wine. And that would be the anointed or the elect. It's a warning. And yet Dan is DNA. Dan is the violent man, the lion's whelp. He who leaps out of that land of Bashan. And it's mythical, so we look at the meaning of the name Bashan. We look at the meanings of the names and the words, and we reveal that it's majestic mountains, fertile plains. It's a place of milk and honey. MLK and honey, which is money. And that of wild cattle being buffalo. So it's the United States of America. That's where Dan leaps forth. As the violent man that's judging all of Israel. Yeah. And it's Judah who must shut it down. It's a shame that we have to live through this. Yeah. So, Revelation is a racist book. We know that. And as far as what I've inherited, well, I'm just so damn sorry if you have to hear my mouth go off about what I think is right or wrong, or what I believe to be true or not. That which I've received, that which I believe. To deny such a thing is denying and blaspheming the spirit for which I carry. But to take the cookie cutter, to take the cookie cutter process, that which is written, and deny the living word, the living person, well, then you failed. That was the test. You failed. You're an individual. And the collective still suffers, but yet the collective is reaping the rewards of such evil. So we know the righteous they're perish, the righteous perish. Well, maybe I'm not so righteous. I'm not a hypocrite, that's for sure. No, I don't support war, and I don't support abortion. And clearly I haven't supported any of the like because of my conditional factors. Yeah, that of income. They said, well, that's a choice. Well, I made the choice. It was a hard choice. Now, what's available to me in truth as to what was given forth, well, it's given back to me. Yeah, it is. It's given back to me. So today, 17, yeah, that's an 8. So we have the presentation of the 1 upon the 8. And it's a 9 as a spirit. So it's a spirit. So two times, or twice the time, double time, to create such a thief, which can be a pirate, because it could be like Johnny Depp. It could be like the good guy who was holding the keys all along and just being who he was meant to be through his own inheritance. Yeah, and then taking on the truth, The thief can be a good thing. Yeah, in light of. So upon the day, yeah. So as the 8, the power of the day becomes the spirit. The power of the day becomes the spirit. The time of the day, the time becomes the spirit, and the 9 as the 9 is humanitarianism, as it is the caregiver, the caretaker. The 9 is the spirit as the breath upon a word, giving forth, giving it life. That we should hope that it's everlasting through time, since that's how it's built. The spirit is always going to be with us, even though they say the spirit is fleeting, it can leave, but it can return. And it can return sevenfold. Yeah. So it's good. In some sense, you say, well, you had an earlier appointment for your scan the first time around, and you canceled it. Yeah, well, that was the 29th, the leap day year, the leap of faith day. Yeah, and to have a procedure done through leap of faith, only to have it misdirected. Now, I don't need that. I need it. I need to know. I'm willing to cut it like a knife. So its intention will be to determine this particular disease. That's what we're attacking. That's the wisest choice for all the myriad of problems I'm having. Because I'm deteriorating fast, and it's painful. Of course it is. Of course it would be. But I don't want to be denied. No more denying. Do not deny the son of perdition. No, and yet perdition still exists, that I should have to run into the rest of them who are still trying to have me know their job. Oh, you want me to know your job now? Because you say I'm missing something on the referral. I don't have an auth number. For a general procedure, it doesn't require authorization. To have to pre-auth every little motion of the notion, it just means you're worried about your billing. And we already told you it's the Fed, so it's the Medicaid, so you know it's going to take a month or more anyways. And you might get denied, and you just run another, challenge it, and then you get your payment later. That's how insurances work. That's how the government works. That's how they train themselves to work. It's incredible if you ever want to become an accountant to try to even figure out how that code works. I've taken accounting in college. I know it's like totally opposite of what you would present, and it's like, oh, well, it balances. No. It's crazy. It's crazy to the brain. Yeah. It's a formula for your success, isn't it? But not anybody else. So now my appointment is on March 1st. So that's the 3 upon time. So it's the 3 is recycling, but it is the old and broken, as it is the investment. So the 3 is creativity and beauty. So it's the artist number, to where through the old and broken, through the discarded, or through many products to come together to create something entirely new, different. It's artwork as it is expressing that creativity that was hidden within all those things, or hidden within something. So it's a talent. It's a talent as it is an investment. So the three, the investment, the artistry, the beauty, creativity, upon time, creates the 11, the angel. Well, I cannot think of anything more beautiful within creation than an angel. Angels are created. And so within the expression of investment of time, aren't we? Aren't we of the angels, their investment of time? Certainly. Yeah, I say that the Big Bang was when those angels came down and took of themselves wives amongst the daughters of men. It was the Big Bang. And it brought forth the Nephilim and the mighty men of old, and the whole reason why the flood came and destroyed them all. For he had hated he ever created them. So it was he had considered it at that point completely defiled. Sure, they were eating men. The Nephilim were eating men. The giants were eating the men, harvesting them. Yeah, like cattle, like sheep. It's why we have to learn these words in terms of the consumption of. So, yeah. So Noah was put in an ark 2 by 2, along with his fellow brethren. Yeah. As the inheritance held. Because life itself is the inheritance held for the lamb, the child. So that's the Big Bang, and then in I forgot where my thoughts were going. I don't even know why I brought up the Big Bang. The Big Bang. Yeah, those Nephilim and the angels, and who did what. Yeah, and where we are today. Well, we know that that Dan, the violent man who lives on the street, is going to judge all of Israel, which is the 12 tribes, which is all of us. So violence will erupt on the streets of every city. And of course they're filling the city with the red horsemen, those who are prepared for war. And it's the black horseman who is carrying the weight of goods and services, the value of all things. That's why they think about reparations all the time. Yeah, that's why it's misappropriating everything. The whole world is turned black. Yeah. Anyways, pretty soon we'll find out the Native Americans were black, and the Puerto Ricans were black, and the South Americans were black, and the Africans were black, and the Australians were black, and the Chinese, well, we don't know about the Chinese, because the Chinese, the pale horseman. The pale horseman. Oh, I was talking numbers. That's what I was doing. I was talking about the numbers and the 9, and of course the 3. So the next day, the 3-1 is the next appointment for my diagnostics for the CT scan. And hopefully there's no retribution, because, you know, they could be mean and just chop my head off. Because that's what they did to Epstein, you know, right? Whatever. That's what they do to everybody they hate. So that's revealing their sin. So we're going to get scanned on 3-1, and the 3 upon the 8, and then creating the 11, which is the angelic. So the investment of time by the angelic upon the day, the angel upon the day, the fire upon the day. That's why I said you're fired. The fire upon the day. So all month it can be that environment that you're fired. Yeah, well, it's not me that's getting fired. Not yet. You have to have a job to get fired. And so it's the firing is that which would be the bisking of the pottery. The firing would also be the finishing glazing and whatever effects that need to go on to the pottery, and then the creation of clay to a dinner plate, to china, bone china. Who knows? It's how it's fired. The angel is light as it is frequency, as it is sound and vibration. It's a mirror, so there's a mirror upon the day. A reflection of what it is. It's the investment that should reveal itself, come outwardly, only seen through the artist. Yeah, so it's a number 3 day. It is the artist. Yeah, the investment is going to work. The beauty and the creativity will come forward. Yeah. Now what that means in light of the CT scan, well, it means it's probably going to reveal the truth, isn't it? Or it's going to reveal something. And then, hopefully, it's enough to allow the radiologist guy to do his biopsy, because that seems to be his issue, that he doesn't know where to poke. Well, you poke it in the bump. Poke it in the bump. But I can't see the bump without the diagnostics. Well, I don't understand that. Clearly. I mean, are you going to look at the picture while you're trying to figure out what part is parts? So, I don't know. We'll see from there. I'll try not to get into any arguments with them. I mean, just do your job, please. What are we looking for? That's what I should ask him. What are we looking for? Ooh. You people, that will drive me off the cliff. Maybe that's the whole test. How far can we push this monster till the horns come out? Well, they came out yesterday. That is just like a trumpet came out of my mouth. I have no concept of how it works. What were those words? I should hope that there's a recording on in that room. Yeah, I should hope that they have a recording and they can play it back. Because it's funny, because when I stood outside, my heart's beating a mile a minute. I could barely stand, but I'm standing there. They had called my ride. You know, they called Jeff to come get me. Jeff doesn't know that I went through some nightmare. He's on his way. He pulls into the, but before he pulls in the parking lot, this big truck pulls up, and this big guy gets out, and he's got this belt and the harness and everything. He's looking all like he's a cowboy. Somebody just took down a horse. So he looks at me, he goes, "How are you doing?" I said, "Just fine, thank you." I turned around and just wouldn't look at him. And then he went on into the building. So that must be their local security guard, I guess. Gonna beat up the old man standing out there shaking, trying to hold on to his own last nerve, his last gay nerve, shaking out there in the parking lot next to Sonic. Yeah, because Sonic's right next door. You know, we gotta fill these people in. So anyways, I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't. I took all her drugs and put them in the cupboard. The only one I'm going to work with is the anti-inflammatory, and I'm only going to take, and I'm only given 14 days of that. They're not going to give me any more. That's 2 pills a day. So I'm taking 1 every day. Because I'm not going to ER. I'm not going to go to the ER. As scary as the other day was, with my heart fluttering, and then of course having to feel it yesterday too. Well, at least now I know it's okay. Like, my heart can flutter all at once. I'm not going to have a heart attack. Yeah. No. So the 3-6 creates the number 8 through the angel. So the man, so the angel upon the man creates time. Wow. Wow, that's cool. That would be the biopsy day. Let's pray that everything goes accordingly to plan. Yeah. Let's go according to plan, if they have a plan, because the way she's dealing with it is she had never had a plan. She never had any intention of looking at in this direction. And so I have taken the wheel and turned it on her, forcibly. And I know she hates that. Everyone hates that. I hate that. So now the wheel's turned. But the direction is not defined until it's spoken. And that's why we're going for biopsy. I hope they know that. I do. I guess I would be filling it in. It's one thing to get a procedure done that's specific. This is getting procedures done that's not specified because you can't. Is that irony? Is that perdition? I mean, it's got to be. There can be no greater expression, in my opinion, right now. Okay, well, so I think that with that capacity, it's a good way. It's better than the 29th. It's better than her way. And to say that I have a plan, well, no, I don't. No, I don't. I want a definition, and then I'll give you a plan. Like saying goodbye or whatever, counting my wreaths, putting the flowers together, getting ready for my big hole. Yeah? Oh well. I can come out of this just as magically as I did so many other things. If I'm given the opportunity to help myself. I don't want to hear another word about diabetes and that bullshit, that cover story that they keep playing, as yet they're creating through the products you're using. Grocery stores. And now the plastics. I see all the plastics. Cheerios is filled with plastic. Cheerios? I mean, come on, shut it down. Shut it down. I love Cheerios, you sickos. I want to see your plastic. Just because you have so much waste material, let's just give it to them as a filler. Let's give it to them as a filler, and then they won't be hungry. And they won't get fat because, it's non-nutritious. So sad. That is so sad. Yeah. Did you see that Soros bought a whole bunch of radio stations? Who the hell listens to radio stations? The underground? The underworld? Is that who's listening? Is that how you're directing the migrations? You have to migrate these people by radio? Shut it down. Shut it down. Zelensky, shut it down. That was always Russia. That was always Russia. All the infrastructure shows Russia. You still got the big memorials up and the big pictures and the whole tile floors. That was all Russia. Give it back to Russia. Give it to them as a gift. They'll correct those who are wrong. And then we'll find out who really needs to be given asylum. Shut it down. Shut down the false state. Yeah, it's genocide. And it doesn't make the truth. Removing anything. Removing me is not going to remove. It's not going to change anything. Okay, God bless. Bye.